Hi there, and thank you so much for joining me today. But I am really here to help you. I want to help you get better at math. I want to help you to understand everything that we do. So these videos are just for you to be able to go back to and look over and view more than one time. And please let me know if there's anything else I can help you with by commenting below. Today we're going to practice finding missing angles when you have two parallel lines that are cut by a transversal. So I am going to really quick color in all the angles that are congruent to each other. One sec. So all of the red angles here are congruent to each other, and congruent means they are the same measurement, the same size. And then all of the green angles are also congruent to each other. They are the same measurement. So let's just pretend this angle here is 100 degrees. Since we know that that red angle is 100 degrees, we know that all of the other red angles are 100 degrees. And if you want to view the other video I made about the vocabulary, that kind of goes into depth why they are congruent. Anyway, if we know the red angles are 100 and we can also tell that we have a straight line right here, we can also gather the information that these green angles are going to equal 80. Because if you look at it like this, one straight line together is equal to 180 degrees. So you could always think 100 plus what would give me 180, or 180 minus 100 would give me that missing angle. So I'm going to quickly fill in these other missing angles being 80. So that is one way that you can find out the missing angles. But guess what? Our math problems aren't always this easy. So I am going to make it a little more difficult. So for this example, we know that this angle is equal to 80, and we know that this angle is equal to x plus 89. So if you remember the vocabulary, or if you look at the colors, these angles are equal to each other, and they're also called vertical angles. So since they are equal to each other, I am going to take each of these measurements and I'm going to set them equal to each other. So I'm going to write 80 is equal to x plus 89. And now I am simply going to solve for x. This is a one-step equation, and we just want to get x by itself. So we are going to minus 89 from both sides. These are going to cancel. I'm going to be left with x, and 80 minus 89 is equal to negative 9. Therefore, I know down here, x is equal to negative 9. And if I did negative 9 plus 89, I would get 80. And those angles are congruent, so it's a good thing I got 80. Let's do another one. This time, this angle is x plus 105, and this angle here is 95. So the first thing you need to know are these angles are congruent to each other. They are both colored red, and they are also congruent to each other because they are alternate exterior angles, and those types of angles are always equal to each other. So I am just going to get this right here and this right here, and I'm going to set them equal to each other. So I have x plus 105 is equal to 95. And I have a one-step equation, and I am just going to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 105 to get this x by itself. Do it to both sides because we need to keep them equal. These will cancel, and I will be left with x equals, well, 95 minus 105 is equal to negative 10. Negative 10. Think of this like you have $95 and you spend $105. Therefore, you're going to use up all of the $95 you have, plus you're going to go $10 in debt. So that means x equals negative 10. So it's important to keep in mind that these angles don't equal -10. That is just what x is. So if I plug in -10 here, I would have -10 plus 105, and that would give me my 95, which is down here, and they end up being equal to each other, which is what I wanted. Let's do another one. So this angle is equal to 22x minus 2, and this angle here is equal to 130. So if you know the vocabulary for your angles, these are corresponding angles, and they're congruent to each other. So just like the last couple problems, I'm going to take these and I'm going to set them equal to each other. So I have 22x minus 2, and that is going to be equal to 130. And my goal is to figure out what x is. So I want to get x by itself. This is a two-step equation. So the first thing I'm going to do is add 2 right here to both sides of the equal sign because I want to keep them equal. These will cancel, and I'll be left with 22x equals 130 plus 2 is 132. I have one more step. Since this number 22 is right by that variable x, that means multiply. So to undo multiplication, I am going to do division. And I usually show that by using a fraction bar because that also means division. So I'm going to divide by 22, divide by 22. These will cancel, and I will get x equals 132 divided by 22 gives me 6. And if you don't know that, feel free to use a calculator. Okay, so x equals 6. I just want to double check my work. Well, 22 times 6 is 132, and 132 minus 2 is going to give me that 130, so I know I got it right. Okay, we're going to get a little bit more difficult. Okay, so this angle here is 28x plus 1, and this angle here is -2 plus 29x. And the first thing to realize is that these angles are congruent or equal to each other. In vocabulary words, they are called vertical angles. So I'm going to take this angle here and this angle here and set them equal to each other, just like we've been doing. So 28x plus 1 is equal to -2 plus 29x. And I am going to solve for x. So when I have x's on both sides, I don't like that. I want to get them on the same side. So I always subtract the one that is smaller, which would be this one here, the 28x, because I don't want my other side to go negative. If I subtracted a 29x from this side and then a 29x from this side would turn negative, because if you subtract a larger number from a smaller number, it's going to go down into the negatives. So I'm going to choose to go like this, minus 28x minus 28x. These are going to cancel, and I'm going to be left with 1 equals -2. And then 29x minus 28x is just 1x. And a lot of times, instead of writing just 1x, usually we just write x. There we go. We are almost done. I just need to get rid of this -2 by adding +2. Adding 2, adding 2. These will cancel, and 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 equals x. If this is confusing to you, feel free to watch my 1-step or 2-step equation videos. I'm kind of going through this a little bit fast because I want to focus on the angles. Now that I got x equals 3, I just want to double check my work by plugging my 3 into my x. So 28 times 3 is 84, and then if I add 1 to that, I get 85. Okay, so remember 85. This one, 29 times 3 is 87, and then plus a -2 would also give me 85. So I know I got the right answer. Now, disclaimer, these angle measurements right here are not actually 85 degrees because 85 degrees would be less than 90. And these angles here on my diagram are clearly bigger. So I'm just showing you these so we can figure out what X is, and it's not the real measurement. Okay, we are going to do one more problem. So here we have this angle being -2 plus 13x, and here we have this angle being 32x plus 2. So the first thing to realize is these angles are not congruent to each other. They are actually called same side interior angles or consecutive interior angles. And those types of angles always add to 180. So I'm not going to set these equal to each other this time because they are not equal to each other. I am going to write -2 plus 13x plus this angle, 32x plus 2, gives me 180 degrees. And now I'm going to kind of condense this and then solve for x. So the first thing I want to do is just combine these because they are on the same side of the equal sign. They are both on the left side of the equal sign. So I can just combine them. We have 13x and 32x's. That would give me a total of 45 x's because 13 plus 32 is 45. So I'm going to write 45x, and then a -2 plus a +2, those would actually cancel each other out. -2 and a +2 is equal to 0. And I don't really want to write +0 because that doesn't mean anything. Okay, so my final part on the left side of my equal sign is 45x, okay? And then that is equal to 180. Oh my gosh, this looks so much simpler. Now it is just a one-step equation, and I am going to divide by 45 to get this x by itself. These will cancel, and I'm going to get x equals 4. 45 goes into 184 times. Okay, lastly, I am just going to double check my work. Okay, I'm going to take this 4 and plug it into this x. 13 times 4 is 52, and then if I minus 2 from that, I'm just going to get 50. So I'm going to write that down just so I don't forget. 50 degrees is what that's supposed to be. Okay, 32 times 4 is 128, and 128 plus 2 is 130. So that would mean this angle right here, the red one, is 130, and that would mean this green one here is 50. My last question is 130 plus 50 equal to 180, like I said earlier? And the answer is yes. And that is how I would double check to make sure I got it right. Okay, please let me know if this made sense to you by giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to this math channel. Otherwise, leave me a comment of another type of problem I can solve for you, and I would be happy to. Have a great day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.